Actually, let me just go ahead and be quite honest. I like Nashville better than New Orleans. Hey, welcome and welcome back. For those of you who are new here, my name is Tiffany and I am a full-time mental health and substance abuse therapist bringing you food, lifestyle, and mental health content. I have my notes today because Bay and I went to Nashville. Yes, Nashville as a black girl. I have actually been wanting to go to Nashville for a while. For those of you all who are unfamiliar, I do travel guides based off of my travels, and I have been wanting to go to Nashville specifically for the hot chicken. Yes, baby, because I travel for food. So let's just go ahead and use this iPad and dive into what we did while we were there. So we flew from DC to Nashville, which was only like an hour and a half flight, very smooth, of course, nonstop. We stayed at a Marriott property, which was about 0.7 miles away from Broadway. Broadway is Nashville's version of Bourbon Street, okay? So actually, let me just go ahead and be quite honest. I like Nashville better than New Orleans. Ooh, don't stone me. Do not revoke my black card, but I kind of do. I'm gonna give you some reasons why a little bit later, but just hold on to that thought, okay? Okay, so for day one, as soon as we touched down, we dropped our bags off and we went to the farmer's market. Their farmer's market, of course, is like the market where you could buy like fresh produce and all of that, but they also have a food hall style place on the inside. So we hurried up and we went to the farmer's market so that we could get some fresh produce to stock our room. If you go to the farmer's market on, I think, Thursdays, then they focus on black businesses. So if you have time in your schedule, go during that time. When we went inside to get food, I got food from this place called Chicago Style Gyros. Do not recommend. No. If you like good Mediterranean food, don't get that. I do not understand how they have 4 stars on Yelp. It lacked flavor. The chicken was the chicken breast of a tenderloin, okay? It was not the rotisserie like shawarma chicken. I don't know what they were doing, but it was not it. But the good part of day one was there's a winery in there called Natchez Hills Winery, and they do a 4 sample flight tasting for $15. And we just so happened to arrive on Sunday, so we were there in Nashville from Sunday to Thursday. So we arrived on Sunday, and there were a bunch of wine club members sitting around the bar and getting lit, baby. And they were just having a ball. We were having a good time with them. And then there was this guy who like sings and stuff. So I got him to sing Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey because duh, that's all I was singing the whole time while I was there, okay? That's Tennessee Whiskey. There are some other food options in there. You can check them out when you're in there. But Nashville is very hyper-focused on local. Okay, the local is everywhere. You'll find local before you find a vegetable. Okay, very similar to New Orleans, quite honestly, in that regard. Then for that evening, we went to Assembly Food Hall for dinner because Prince's Hot Chicken is the originator of hot chicken. The story goes that this woman was dating this man and he was a womanizer and he was cheating and whatnot. So she went into her spice cabinet, grabbed all of the spicy seasonings, and then seasoned up his chicken to try to get revenge. But baby, he ended up enjoying the chicken. So that was that. And then that's how the story goes. I ordered the 3 whole wings with fries, light mild. And this is what it looks like. So we are going to go ahead and try it out. Bay got the Andre chicken sandwich. I don't know what make it Andre. Maybe the special sauce up there like that.
More bread and chicken.
It do look like more bread than chicken on yours. I got mainly meat on that, so I can't really taste the batter yet. Tastes like regular fried chicken to me. Regular. Maybe it's because I got the light mild.
Hype Williams. Say Hype Williams.
Yeah. But apparently the hot be getting hot and the mild be hot. So that's why I got light mild. So Princess is where we went. The guy at the wine bar told me that he likes spicy food, but that even the mild was spicy. So I was like, oh wow. And I specifically asked him if he eats spicy food. He was like, yeah. Baby, so I got the light mild. The light mild was good. It tastes like regular fried chicken, but if you want spicy, go ahead and get the mild or the medium, okay? Because he wasted my time with that. And it takes forever to get your food there. Then we went to Whole Foods nearby so that, again, we could get some fresh groceries. That Whole Foods was very, very small in comparison to our Whole Foods, okay? Now, day 2, we went to Belle Meade. So Belle Meade is this mansion that was very well known pre-emancipation and post-emancipation for their horses. Like literally, if you were to trace the lineage of most of the Kentucky Derby horses that have won races, they more than likely trace back to Belle Meade. Ain't that something? So I originally wanted to go to Andrew Jackson's Hermitage because I heard he was a mean old slave owner. I was like, I want to go see because like I want to learn about the people who were there. But they only do the tours based off the enslaved people on particular days. I think it's on like a Thursday or something like that. And obviously we flew out on Thursday. So instead we went to Belle Meade and we did the mansion tour. But Belle Meade has all different types of tours. So right after the mansion tour, they do a complimentary wine tasting. It's very quick. But when you go on this mansion tour, you have a guide and they take you through the mansion, right? They give you all of the history about the people, what was going on during that time period, but you also get admission to the ground so you could walk around. And we literally were standing inside slave cabins. I was like, whoa, like enslaved people actually lived here. Whew. I mean, that was just a phenomenal tour. So make sure that you book a tour, like a guided tour, so that you could get like a bunch of the information. What I did enjoy about the complimentary wine tasting was that on one of the bottles of wine, they have the guy who was known as the head hostler. So his name is Bob Green. He was one of the enslaved people there, and he was the guy that people went to train their horses. So again, most of the Kentucky Derby horses who have won races can be traced back to Bob Green. And then they have another wine. It's a blackberry wine. We actually bought that one. And there was an enslaved woman there by the name of Susanna Carter. And Susanna Carter used to sell her blackberry wine and her blackberry other stuff. And they have a blackberry wine there inspired by her. Unfortunately, her picture is not on that bottle, but Bob Green's picture is on the bottle of his wine. Then we went to Martin's Barbecue. Martin's Barbecue was good. The first time that we went, we ordered a tray that was for 2 people. This is the platter with ribs. We got a mix of dry and wet brisket, baked beans, and green beans. I guess everything comes with toast. Oh, barbecue usually comes with toast, right? The brisket was the best. It was juicy, it was tender, the little crust on the outside of the brisket was good. The wet ribs were second best. The dry ribs, like the dry sauce, the dry ribs just happened to be dry. Like pieces of it was like jerky. So just get the brisket. The green beans were good. The baked beans were good too. They leaned more so on like the vinegary side because they probably cook it with this barbecue sauce. The green beans was good. They were very peppery. The baked beans were good too. Not overly sweet to me. When in Tennessee, just melted in your mouth. Now we went to another Martin's barbecue location closer to Broadway, and during that time I got it was called a redneck taco, and I got it with brisket and coleslaw on top. And then for my side, I wanted to try the broccoli salad. Did I get another side? I don't think I got another side. I can't remember. But that was good. But just get the brisket. Bay smoked turkey was so good and juicy. Not that kind of turkey, that dry turkey that people eat for Thanksgiving. Like, this was a really good turkey. Oh my God. So get the brisket, the smoked turkey. The broccoli salad was good. It was a little bit sweet, but you're in Nashville and it's American food, so everything is fried, fatty, and sweet, and alcohol. Okay? Child, then I really wanted this donut. So we called an Uber to this bakery called Five Daughters Bakery. We went to the 12 South location. They closed at 10 p.m. Tell me why they were sold out of donuts at 5 p.m. My heart was broken. Wasted all my Uber money. Fine. Didn't get my donut that day. Heart was broken. Then Bay has a colleague who actually lives in Nashville, and his colleague was like, oh, you gotta go to Smoking Thighs, you gotta go to Smoking Thighs. And they specialize in their smoked chicken. So they do like this like a little toy dumpster truck full of wings. So you could go with your family and you could chow down on wings. By the time we got there, they didn't even have them on wings. So you know that they be selling out of their wings. I got chicken thigh. I mean, it was nothing to write home about, honestly. At this point of my Nashville trip, I am very depressed about the food. Very depressed about the food. But then we went to Fable Lounge, and I had one of the best cocktails. It was like this watermelon something. I think it had tequila in it because I love me a good tequila, and that was a good cocktail. I had 2 cocktails, and I think Bay had like some fancy like old fashions, because y'all know black men love an old fashioned, child. They really do. Now let me tell you something. I was tired of the subpar food at this point. So we're back in our hotel room, okay? I'm in the bed, and I had already knew that I wanted this biscuit from this place called Biscuit Love. And I'm gonna just go ahead and roll the clips. Ordered the East Nasty, which is fried chicken on a biscuit with sausage gravy. And then I ordered the B-roll, which is like a biscuit cinnamon roll. This is what the bag looks like. Let's go. This is the East Nasty. I'm gonna give you a clear view, don't even worry. And this is the biscuit cinnamon roll. Now hold on, I'm about to go show it to the front desk staff. Y'all wanna see what it looks like?
Yeah.
So this is the biscuit sausage. This is the one that apparently they do have other stuff.
Yeah.
This is what they're known for.
Yeah.
All right, here's the East Nasty. Fried chicken with sausage gravy on a biscuit, and then the cinnamon roll biscuit with like a pecan sauce on it, and I guess this is icing on the side. Okay, let's see what it's hitting on. I ain't even hungry right now, but we're going on a whiskey distillery tour, and I think it's like an hour and a half away. So I need some food on my stomach because we're gonna get to the distillery at 11. So I need to eat. And then we stop it in like some podunk town. Well, the whiskey distillery place is in podunk town. And I'm not about to like eat no food that ain't good on that stop. This is the first bite. Oh. I didn't get enough for the biscuit. It's good. Is it better than biscuit B-word in Seattle? No. But I had that sandwich. I wanted to cry. It was so good. But this is good. You know I'm a foodie because I be putting people on who live in the city that I visit. Oh, that second bite was lit. Oh, that gravy ain't nothing to play with. I ain't had sausage gravy in forever either. Hold on, girl. Now let's go ahead and dig into this cinnamon roll. Yeah. Remember, this is a biscuit. Ooh. Even when I just put my knife in it. Look at that. I'm going to try it without this icing first. Oh yeah, I'm glad I got that. Now, some people rave about the donuts, which is like biscuit donuts with a mascarpone cream and I think berries. But my stepmom makes homemade cinnamon rolls and biscuits, so I had to get that. Oh, it don't need this icing. That's too sweet. This is hella good. I'm gonna say this for dessert for later on tonight after I eat one more bite. Yeah, okay. So that biscuit sandwich was absolutely amazing. Oh, it was so good. I was so pressed to get that biscuit sandwich that I ordered it on the night of day 2 for Grubhub to deliver the next morning. Yeah. Because I heard that the line was long. So I was not about to wait in that line, but we also had the Jack Daniel's Distillery tour. So I wanted my breakfast to arrive before we left for the tour. Yeah. You gotta be a planner. You gotta be a planner. So we did this tour called Jack and Back because the Jack Daniel's Distillery is about an hour and a half away from Nashville. Now the bus was nice. It was like almost Sprinter vanish, I guess. They had the outlets that actually worked, the good AC, bring you some headphones and bring you some food, and you will be just fine. So we rode the bus out there. We did the Jack Daniel's Distillery tour. Now the only downside to the distillery tour is that it's actually located in a dry town. I did not know that dry towns were a thing. So apparently in this dry town, like they don't sell liquor. Like despite Jack Daniel's being there, they don't sell the liquor. So like even when you do the tasting that's a part of the tour, it's basically like a 2 dinner spoons of each liquor that you're tasting.
Bottle telling you the exact barrel that particular whiskey came from. It gives the whiskey an identity. So type of aroma, and I get that in taste as well. It's 94 proof, so you're going up a little bit more in alcohol content. But as you take a few sips after nosing it, like I mentioned, you might pick up on a bit more of a sweeter finish. To me, I definitely.
Oh, it does have a sweeter finish.
Maybe a little bit more.
But it was very cool to get a tour of the distillery, learn the history of Jack Daniel's, and all Jack Daniel's comes from that distillery. And they have like this beautiful like water supply that's natural, that's filtered through the stone there. And all of the liquor comes from that water. It was like really, really dope. And they also did pay homage to Uncle Nearest because it's been said that Jack Daniel's stole the recipe from Uncle Nearest. The Uncle Nearest distillery is close by, so if you wanted to do that, you could do that tour as well. Now, all of these places are out in the middle of nowhere, so you will not be able to catch an Uber there and back. You will need to book it through an agency. Okay. Now we are on to day 4, okay? Now, day 4 is when we did our food tour. We always do a food tour when we travel. Y'all should know this by now. On our food tour, this one was different because you booked the food tour, but they also had an additional package to buy drinks. Or you could just buy drinks at each of the restaurants, like they had their specialty drinks. So on our food tour, it was all within like a 1.5 mile circumference area. And where you start is where you end, which is pretty different because most food tours end at a different location. So our first stop was Noble's Kitchen and Beer Hall, and that is where we had fried chicken or deviled egg with fried green tomato. I, of course, chose the fried chicken. It was very good. They also had some cocktails there too that people could choose from. But when in Nashville, you get the fried chicken. Next, we went to this place called Joyland, and they had a biscuit that they served us with jam, and that biscuit was good. I'm a biscuit snob, and that biscuit was good. But at this point, I'm like, I need some real food. I don't want all of this bread, so let me just eat half of this biscuit, and I'll save the rest for later. And I'm so glad I did, because then we went to Burger and Company, which was our third stop of the food tour. And that burger was so stinking good. See, I can't even get my words out. So stinking good. It was called the Bot Burger. And it had bacon, I think onion jam, I think maybe a tomato relish, and then some jalapenos. They only gave us half of a burger, y'all. I should have just ordered it. Oh, that burger was so good. They also have like frozen strawberry cocktail and then a frozen lime something cocktail. On our food tour, we were with a large family, and they were super friendly. They just kept offering us their cocktails to taste. Next up, for our last stop, we went to the food hall called Hunter Station. So there are a few food hall situations in Nashville for you to try. So this whole area was like East Nashville. So you have Hunter Station in East Nashville, and then you have Assembly Food Hall off of Broadway. So we went to Hunter Station and we got a pulled pork sandwich. My pulled pork had nice like crispy pieces in it that was so good, so delicious. I ate that whole thing. I didn't think I was gonna eat the whole thing, but I ate that whole thing. Yeah, I was hungry. And then after that, we got a churro from one of the restaurants in there that had like a cream filling on the inside. Now, our food tour guide told me that there was a Five Daughters location near there, and somehow, some way, I convinced my husband to go. So we walked a mile in the Nashville heat so that I could get that donut. Why did we walk? Because I like to walk. Now, was I burning up? Yes. But I just like to walk. I like to walk. And I was tired of taking Ubers, paying for all them Ubers. When I travel, I like to walk as much as possible. I don't want to jump in an Uber every single time. I want to walk. I want to breathe some clean air, okay? So we walked. And I'm so glad I walked because of that donut. Just watch. So this is what I got. This is what the box looks like. This was recommended by our food tour guide. Then I got the 100 layer, which is what they're known for. I got the mini purest of the 100 layer. And then that one is the churro crunch. Oh, my bad. And this is a lemon ice box. Let's try this lemon curd first. Got an already dug in. This is good. I was hesitant because I don't like stuffed, like jelly-filled type of donuts. But it's a layer, like a croissant, which makes it really good. For the churro crunch. It's sugary, but it's good. This will be good with coffee, like a bitter coffee, because the sugar is all on the outside. This will be real good with a coffee. My God, this is good. And usually I like my donuts and desserts warmed up, because my husband was like, you're not going to ask him to warm it up? I was like, but this is good. Oh my God. Now for the mini pures. So just a regular glazed donut, but still 100 layer. But these other ones didn't say 100 layer, but it's giving 100 layer. Oh yes it did, I'm lying. Yeah, it's 100 layer. Krispy Kreme who? You want to buy this one? Later on that day, we went back to the hotel, we came back, and then we went to Attaboy. Attaboy is a speakeasy. They don't have a menu. What you do is you go in, there's not even a standing room. They only allow you to come in for as much seating as they have. So you want to get there when they open to make sure that you are allowed in, because you might have to wait, okay? So we got there basically like right when they open. You tell the bartender what type of cocktails you generally like, things that you don't like, flavor profiles, and then he makes you a cocktail. I believe from other Yelp reviews that each cocktail is the same price. So I believe that the cocktails were $17 or $18 each. After that, Bay and I went to Chuhan Ale and Masala House. This is an Indian fusion restaurant. We ordered the tandoori poutine fries. I haven't had poutine fries since we were in Toronto. They were not stingy with the meat, the sauce, or the fries. Oh, it was so absolutely delicious. And we also ordered the crab cake. So we were supposed to order the poutine fries, the crab cake, entrees, and another appetizer. But child, we got full. And by full, I mean we had Attaboy cocktails, went to the Indian restaurant, and then we sat there and I was like, but I want some more hot chicken before we leave. Child, so then we went to Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Hattie B's and Prince's are all in the same area of Assembly Food Hall. I liked how Hattie B's was situated outside, and we lucked up because usually Hattie B's has a line wrapped around the block and down the street. Because the first time that we had Prince's, we wanted Prince's and Hattie B's at the same time, but we were not about to wait in that line. So Hattie B's barely had a line. You go in, you order your food, you pick your heat. I went ahead and I got medium, and I'm glad I did because that chicken was so good. We ordered the 3-piece wings with the baked beans and something else. I can't even remember the side, but you'll see. The baked beans were not good. They just was not good. I mean, they was all right. At Smoking Thighs, the baked beans tasted like they were straight out the can. At Hattie B's, it tasted like they tried to doctor them up a little bit. Yeah, no. That is all the places that we went to. That was our last day there. Now, there are some other additional activities that we didn't get to, even within our 4 days. So if you want to go to another speakeasy, there's one called Red Door Saloon that you could go to, but you absolutely must go to Broad Street. Okay, we were on Broad Street on July 4th, and it was packed. You know, we are from the DC area. When you go up to the Tonky Honk is what it's called, the bars. You go up to the Tonky Honk and there's the guy at the door, the bouncer, and I said, excuse me, is there a cover charge? And he said, cover charge? People charging cover charges out here? We were like, no, we just asking. He was like, oh, y'all must be from California. We are so used to a cover charge. Baby, one no cover charge. The people was lit. They had a live band in there. I got the dancing on the dance floor because it was like these older white people. And I was looking at them and I said, oh, they're doing an electric slide. So baby, I went on the floor and I tore it up. I love the vibe. The thing about them being drunk out there on Broadway that I enjoyed a bit more than being on Bourbon Street in New Orleans was that it felt safer. Like even when we were going into Broadway, when we were walking, they made you go through the metal detector and they searched your bags, and the drunk people weren't the typical annoying drunk people. It was like nobody was annoying with their drunkenness. I don't know how that happened because typically I stay away from drunken people. But I had a ball out there. I really did have a good time, and they had Brad Paisley out there doing like a free live concert. We didn't catch that because I needed to skedaddle before the rain. So if you go, you must go on Broad Street, but it will be busy, but that's fine. And Nashville apparently used to have a law where you could have an open container, but our food guide told us that like last November they did away with that. but people still do it, like it's not regulated. So there are a lot of similarities. So to me, Nashville is white people's New Orleans, and if you go on July 4th, it'll be their version of Mardi Gras. That's my take on it. Is the food a little bit better in New Orleans? Yes, but both of the food in like both of those areas is going to be like very heavy. There were like other restaurants that I wanted to go to, but we just didn't have time. Like I wanted to go to this restaurant called Oku that the lady at the wine bar told me about, and a lot of them you're going to have a reservation for. I'm looking at my notes, y'all. If you are in a Black Greek letter organization, there is this business called College Crib, and they identify themselves as being the largest Greek paraphernalia store because you know that there are a lot of HBCUs out there. I wanted to go there, completely forgot about it. If you want like a Black loungy restaurant type of vibe, you can go to Minerva. You make your reservation on Yelp. Apparently you should not be making the reservation on Open Table, despite the website saying that from the Yelp reviews that I looked at. I wanted to go to this place called Liberty Common, or Bay listed Liberty Common and Hampton Social as food options, and then Pelican and Pig as one of the barbecue options. There are going to be so many barbecue options that you can look up and look into, but your absolute must is Five Daughters Bakery. You must try Princess Hot Chicken and Hattie B so that you can compare, and then go to the farmers market and make sure that you go to Belle Meade so that you could get like a good fun history lesson. And when you get your wine at Belle Meade, you could pop the container, pop a squat at one of the tables, and or walk around with your glass of wine. It's very vibey and a beautiful property. I would actually like to go back. And there's something called the pedestrian bridge out there. Just look into it and you'll be able to see like a good picturesque view of Nashville. So I'm gonna pipe down. That is all that I have for you all in this video. Drop down in the comments, let me know what you think, and if you're interested in me like planning some vacations that I actually haven't been on, but like if Tiffany were to go, this is where she would stay, what she would eat, and what she would do. If you want those type of videos, let me know. I could be like your little YouTube travel planner. All right, bye.
Nobody else, you. Nobody else makes you. Nobody